Hi everyone and welcome to episode 59 of Like, Share, Follow. And this week I have the amazing Sophia Lowcock, who is a marketing assistant at the VetShop Group of Companies. Welcome, Sophia.
Thank you for having me on, Karen.
Thank you very much. Now, normally I say, gee, it's been a while since I last spoke to you, but that is not the case with us.
No.
So you've graduated. What degree did you graduate from just recently?
So I recently graduated with a Bachelor of Communication, and I completed majors in public relations and politics and international relations. And then I did my minor in social media.
And then you decided, I might stick around and do a year of honours, and I'm your supervisor.
Yes. So Karen and I meet every week, so it hasn't been a very long time at all since we last spoke.
No, and so tell me about your research, though, for your thesis, because it's social media related.
It is, yes, very, very much so. So with my major in politics, obviously I'm very interested in that angle of things as well. And of course, COVID is hanging around, so I thought, why not combine all three? And I'm currently looking at social media posts pertaining to COVID that have been shared by Australian federal politicians.
Interesting. And so what have you found so far? Has it been too early to say?
Yeah, so I haven't actually looked quite yet at any exact posts, haven't done any of the deep dive yet, but lots of reading, lots of looking at other examples, other studies that have been done, which, is very interesting. And there's so many different ways. Every time I read something new, I'm like, oh, well, that would be interesting. And I'm like, well, wait, just focus, one thing at a time.
Excellent. And so now, as well as studying, you also work, as I said, at VetShop Group of Companies. So tell me, and you're a marketing assistant, so tell me about your role there and how it all came about.
Okay, so I started with VetShop Group in July 2019, and I actually met my manager, Naomi, at a USC social media networking event where you actually introduced me and put me forward for the position. So have Karen to thank for that as well. You put me forward as a good fit, and I've just been there for a little over 2 years now. I originally started as a content writer, so primarily my role was just writing blogs, but it has expanded so much. I work in events. So every year we have the Surfing Dog Championship, which is as amazing as it sounds, in Noosa. So last year, this year just gone, we had to postpone it, of course, because of COVID, but we were able to have it in May, and that was a phenomenal event, as it always is. Heaps of media engagement, lots to do there. And also I'm sort of helping out with the social media as well. So we Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Yeah.
Excellent. And so just so people know, what is the VetShop Group of Companies?
Okay, so VetShop Group is owned by two brothers, a veterinarian and a lawyer, and it's actually a group of 6 websites. So 4 in Australia and 2 overseas, and we sell pet supplies online.
Very cute. I can imagine the social media content relating to your employer. It would be so super cute.
It is, it is great. And it's a pet-friendly office as well. So
excellent. Do you ever take, because I know in our meetings sometimes I have a cat who tends to stay away from when I do this. I don't know why, but in every other, incident, every other meeting, she makes an appearance. So I'm just wondering, do you take your cat in to the office?
No. I'm not sure you'd be a big fan. I've definitely thought about it, but no, just dogs in the office. We've got pugs, German Shepherds, Dachshunds, so the whole lot. And then there's the surfing dogs as well, which, sometimes they'll drop in and we sort of have events with them throughout the year as well. So we're sponsoring a travelling film festival at the moment called the Top Dog Film Festival. And at each of the locations, we try and have a guest appear, whether it's a surfing dog or another dog. So it's pretty much just, best job in the world, really, working with animals. So
it sounds so much fun. But you know what they say, don't work with children and animals. So how do you find that creating social media content with animals? Like, do they like do what you want, like when you're trying to take photos, or do you have to like work around them, work with them?
The surfing dogs are pretty good. They're fairly well behaved. Other animals maybe not so much. But we did have quite a unforgettable debut on Weekend Sunrise when the surfing dogs was on in May, where our winner actually got launched off a surfboard, and the hosts of Sunrise were absolutely mortified that this poor little pug was flung about 2 feet into the air off a wave. And then they just proceeded to play it in slow-mo for the rest of the morning segment, much to my horror. I thought we were going to be getting calls from RSPCA and everything the next day. But fortunately, the surfer who was on at the time, Dan, is a paramedic, so he's just completely unflappable, handled it like a pro. Could not have done better myself. So, yes, it all worked out in the end.
Oh, that's excellent. And so I really love that you tell that story about going to the networking event and meeting employees there, because we have that every year for our social media students at USC to meet local business owners who are looking for help with their social media and to employ students. And I know some students are normally, I'd like to call students now emerging professionals, because they're nearly there. And you're a great example of that, because you've been working in the field while you're studying for a long time now.
Yes.
And I think there's some hesitation sometimes from emerging professionals who are studying about going, because they don't feel like they're ready or they have anything to offer, and they're a bit scared about the whole thing. So what made you feel confident to sort of jump in there and give it a go?
I think it's a little bit of fake it till you make it. But it's a lot of have confidence in yourself. You do know stuff, and even if you don't, you'll figure it out. So I just started writing blogs, but I've learned like coding and, the back end of Facebook. We're working with Facebook Pixel and Conversion API at the moment, which is a whole other headache. If you're lucky enough to be in a workplace as good as mine, you'll have the support there and other people to ask. And I have the confidence to go, because I've gotten 2 jobs just through uni. I was fortunate enough to get a bit of freelance work also through my internship subject, which was my final subject I completed at the start of the year, and I got freelance work out of that. So don't be afraid to go. And I know it's uncomfortable. I still don't really enjoy them and get all sweaty and nervous and that, but that's where the opportunities are. And it is tough at the moment, I guess, with us all locked down and not being able to attend as many in-person events. But when the opportunity arises, grab it with both hands.
Absolutely. And even go with some other people you're studying just to get that sort of moral support. But when you do that, don't stand in the corner and talk to each other, because it's sort of...
As much as you want to, just, stand around and chat with your lecturers or your tutors. You've got to have the gumption to sort of put yourself out there a little bit. It's a little bit awkward, but I don't know that it's any less awkward for the employers either. So
no, and to be honest, like, it's even as you get older and do it more, like I still feel nervous. Like that doesn't go. So
for all these years of working and networking, I still get just as sweaty. So.
And so tell me, what has been some of the best career advice that you've been given along the way?
Number 1, Canva. If you don't know what it is, use it. Definitely. I don't know, just be open to learning, I think. Be open to trying new things. I thought long and hard about this question. I couldn't think of anything specifically, but in my experience, it's just been to be willing to learn and be open. So,
And why do you think, what do you think set you apart from other candidates going for the role at VetShop Group?
Recommendation from a lecturer certainly doesn't help, I think. We've got a new team member starting with us next week, who also comes very highly recommended from Karen. So, yes, no pressure on your recommendations. But also, I think that willingness to learn, just a keenness to get out into the industry and to get started. So,
Excellent. And so, I mean, you're still at uni, but you finished your degree. Now you're focusing on your honours research. But what have been some things that you've learned as part of your degree that you found really helpful when you've been out working in the field?
Well, I obviously started writing blogs initially. So just any single subject I had, whether it was in PR or social media, just that helped me to practice my writing and perfect my writing has just been so helpful for me, because that's my bread and butter. That's my everyday, whether it's blog posts or press releases or social media posts, you've got to have a good handle on how to write well. So, yeah, I think that's been a big takeaway for me. So,
what's something that you wish you'd learned that you've needed, like a skill or knowledge that you've needed that you didn't learn as part of your degree that you wish you had?
Well, I've actually learnt a little bit of coding. I won't say that I wish I'd learnt it as part of my degree because I hear it's not that much fun to really learn. But if I don't know the answer, Google does. But also, I think employers really like you to have a little bit of experience in things like Photoshop and Illustrator. And I did wish maybe I'd done maybe one graphic design subject just to get that sort of experience under my belt. So again, I'm sort of trying to self-teach in my spare time. But yeah, I think that's quite handy to have as well.
Absolutely. And with the coding, what sort of coding is it? HTML or?
Yeah, just HTML. Yeah.
Because I tell you, when many years ago, when I did my communication degree, that's what we learned. Like, and I tell you what, I use that skill every day, like every day. And I only know basic stuff too, but geez, it gets me out of so much hassle. Where even now as an academic, we use Blackboard for all our course materials, and it's very what's the word, temperamental. And now I can just go into the back end of it and fix things that way because I have that knowledge. So it's such a valuable skill, coding. It
is actually. Even at the basic level that I know, same thing is you just, switch it over to editing mode and suddenly you can see that, janky thing that shouldn't be there, and it's an easy fix rather than trying to play around with in the front end. So
yeah, no, good. So yeah, keep learning, and I might need to learn some more off you. So and so I also like to ask, because you are sort of still working in the social media space as part of your role, and it changes, we know, every day. So I always ask my guests, what is something that you've learned in the last 2 weeks that you would like to share? It could be a new tool, it could be a platform change, it could be anything, but just something new you've picked up.
Yeah. I don't know if it falls into the last 2 weeks, but certainly since the iOS 14 privacy update, we've been sort of trying to catch up to that and the effect that has on the Facebook pixel, implementing the conversion API. We're still trying to work out how that all connects to our Google Analytics and our Google Tag Manager, and that's been a massive learning curve for me, learning that all actually can interact as well and provide us with some data to better target our ads and things like that. So it's a work in progress, and I'm doing lots of reading about again, more like developer sort of level stuff in terms of implementing that conversion API. But yeah, it will definitely serve me very well going forward into any social media role.
Absolutely. And I mean, I actually spoke about this on Ticker News this morning. Facebook, I don't know if you've read this week, they're developing these privacy enhancing technologies that are sort of it's a balance between keeping people's not collecting so much data on people, but also providing valuable metrics to see how your ads are performing. So they're on the case to try and stay within Apple's new changes, but still making it easier for digital marketers to perform well. So you're right. It's going to be constantly moving, and so we'll see. They might develop something amazing, and then Apple will go, change it again.
It's going to be an issue moving forward forever. So might as well learn it now.
Yes, so true. And what advice would you give to emerging professionals who, are studying or just about to graduate or just about to, just started working in the field about how to succeed in their career?
I think just never stop learning, and you probably won't have a choice because Facebook will continue to change things and Instagram will update their algorithm, and things will continue to change, especially in social media, and you will be forced to learn it and keep up with that. Otherwise you won't be able to succeed in your role. So stay on top of it, keep learning, read the press releases and stay on top. Yeah.
Good advice. And so that sort of brings us to the end of our chat, but I still have one last question for you, which is the most important question of the whole show, which is who do you like, share and follow?
All right, I did a little checking of all my platforms last night. Facebook, I mostly keep to friends and family. Twitter is a real mixed bag for me. There's a lot of journalists, media outlets, local media outlets, global, politicians, political organisations, political commentators, industry bodies, researchers, especially studying similar fields, and other sort of friends and family. LinkedIn, I've got lots of business connections. Instagram, you've got to follow the kitten lady. She is great. And TikTok, I'm really getting into. So my 3 recommendations on TikTok is Mosh Pit Jones. If you've ever worked in retail, you'll be able to empathise with him. Luke Franchina for my daily affirmations. You'll get that if you know who he is. And then a kind of random one that I stumbled across just because we have a similar name. So Sophia Armada is a meteorologist who works in Central Virginia. She gets up at like 1:30 in the morning to do like the weekend, like early weather. And she just records herself kind of from the moment she wakes up to getting ready to leave for work. And just I feel it in my soul watching her like sort of go from one foot in the grave to, feeling like a decent human being at last after she's had her coffee and everything. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of an interesting glimpse into the life of someone that lives halfway around the world. And yeah, she's a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, excellent. And so maybe you could tag those people or put the links to their profiles in underneath this video when it's
I will.
When it's on my different profiles. So that would be great because I always like a good TikTok recommendation. So
I got you there.
More time on it. Oh my God.
No, I really don't. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. So thanks so much. And do you have any closing words before we've had a few comments? So let me know if you have any closing words, and I'll read out the comments that we've received.
Sure. I guess, yeah, try and be confident, try and go to those networking events, have faith in your own abilities. You might just surprise yourself. And yeah, keep learning. I think that's really what has served me well. So.
Yeah. It's never over. Like it's not like, oh, I've done university now, that's it. And it's like, no, it's the beginning. So
you throw that hat and it's all over. No, not in this industry.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you love it, like you'll want to learn more anyway. So you
it really isn't a chore to, study or to learn these things about conversion APIs. It's fascinating. So yeah. Great.
So here's the comments that we've had. So Rob, let me put it, actually I can put it up on the screen. Rob Wilson said, "Good morning, Sophia. As an academic with a keen interest and experience in political communication, I'm fascinated by your thesis topic."
Well, thank you, Rob. It should be very interesting, and certainly it's very pertinent to recent comments made by federal politicians in Parliament. Yes, we'll see what we come up with.
And then we had Ali said, "What a topic says today." I don't know. And then
thanks,
Rob said something else. He said, "It's encouraging that your internships have translated into career opportunities."
No, definitely. I was very fortunate there. So got Peppy, who used to lecture at the university. I met through my internship, and made some business connections through Peppy as well. So yes, definitely. Your internships are also another great opportunity. So make the most of them.
That's so true. And Finally, Anthony said, terrific insight, Sophia, and continued success in your career progression. So
thank you, Anthony. I like your profile picture.
And so that's it for this week for Like, Share, Follow. Next week, I'm still sourcing a guest. So if you studied social media at USC and you graduated, you can be part of my interview sample. So please reach out and you can be on the show next week. It's a great exposure. It's a great way. I tell you, one of the best things that's happened as part of this is a number of people have been promoted after being on this show. And it's because it's not because of me at all, but I think it's sort of highlighted that senior management in their companies about, you know, how articulate and how knowledgeable that they are. So it's sort of helps them to progress. So it's a great place to be, particularly if you're looking for work, if you're wanting to get promoted, get it more exposure, or even attract new clients and things. It's just a really good place to do it. The only thing is you have to chat to me. So
not so painful. Yeah. And sadly, my boss is on a deep sea fishing trip at the moment, so unfortunately he's not watching, but I'll have to make sure I tag him when he gets back so he knows he can promote me.
Yeah, okay, good. I'll second that. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next week. Thanks.
See you.